Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about ways to be a better friend, and I'm really excited for this video. I haven't seen many videos on this, so let's go. So a really good part in the Bible to read about being a good friend is Proverbs 6, and they're not the entire thing, but there are certain parts of it that I think are really good, you know, for friendship and learning how to be a good friend. In verse 16 through 19, which are the main ones I was thinking about, it says, "There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, a feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers." And where it says one who sows discord among brothers, that basically means a pot stirrer and somebody who is kind of just like a gossip and always trying to get into other people's business. And I think it's really important in friendships especially, and just as a person in general, to not always be trying to just get in on all the drama and all your friends' tea and like all that stuff. I think it's really important to talk about other things too, not just like all your drama and things like that, because I know I've been guilty of this sometimes, so I'm not trying to say that, you know, I'm perfect and I have perfect friendships and all this stuff, because I definitely, you know, have been in that place. But I just think it's so important. Like, that's not how friendships were crafted to be. We were crafted to just be each other's like companions and love each other and care for each other, and not always just, you know, be all about, you know, gossip and all this stuff. And also, you know, sowing discord among brothers can also mean, like, you know, if you're trying to like separate people, if you're like jealous of somebody's friendship and you're trying to like get in there, like, that's not okay, because, you know, we're friends with the people we're friends with for a reason. And I think it is hard sometimes to watch, you know, your friends, like a new friend come into their life and stuff, and you're like, oh, what if they become better friends with them than I am? But you just gotta not give in to like those fears. Like, your friendship with your friend can stay stable, and they can also be friends with other people. Another thing that I think is super important in friendships is being careful about who you tell things to, but also, like, with those close friends you can trust, it is important to open up to them. But sometimes it's smart to keep tea to yourself, and in Sadie Robertson's book called Live, she has a chapter called What's the Tea? And it was just talking about how it's not always going to be necessary for you to tell everybody every little bit of tea and drama in your life. And I know that's kind of just like how our society is these days. It's all about, like, you know, what's the juicy news and like all that stuff. And it's just like become such a thing. And I think we need to like challenge ourselves to like not talk about that kind of stuff. But there's also a difference between like tea and drama and also like things you're like going through. Like, you need to let certain people in on that, because it's really important not to stay in the dark with like your secrets and things you're struggling with, because that's what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to just stay locked up with all of our hurts and all the things we're going through. And you have to tell people, you have to let it out into the light, especially speaking it out loud, telling it to somebody, that even just has power. And it is really hard to tell people, but it's so important. Another thing that is super important in friendship is just being humble. I have come into contact with a lot of people that are just like super arrogant, and it's like the #1 turnoff in a friendship for me, I guess you could say. I think humility and kindness is just, it's so like noticeable, but like not in the same way, because you're like not like putting yourself out there. But yeah, humility, I just feel like is so important. And just, you know, like in the verses we just read, it said, you know, a lying tongue and haughty eyes are an abomination to the Lord. And so like a tongue that speaks kindness and encouragement, like supports your friends and things like that, it's just so important. And then for you individually as people, it's really important to stay connected to God and make sure you're like, you know, getting in the Word and spending time with God, #1, so that you don't look for satisfaction in your friends, because that's obviously not where we're meant to find satisfaction, and we won't find, you know, long-lasting satisfaction in that. And it's just important so that, you know, maybe your friend comes to you and she's like having a really hard day, and they really need some encouragement, then if you've been like, you know, spending time with God and letting Him fill you up, then if you're filled up by God, then you can more easily pour out to others and to your friends. And also, kind of going off of that, share with your friends what God is teaching you. And also you can do like Bible studies together, do some kind of little read like a faith kind of book together. Those are really fun to do. If you share what God is teaching you and what you're learning, it like helps you connect on a deeper level. Like, you know, whenever people talk about like tea and stuff, they're like, oh, it's just all like the deep stuff. But like, talking about the things that God is teaching you helps you connect in, number one, a much better way, and number two, just on a much deeper level in general. And it just like, then the other person can add on to what you're learning and like just expand your knowledge, and it's just great. So those are most of the things that I have about being a better friend. But something that I thought would be really cool to do is, over the past couple days, I asked a bunch of my friends what they think it means to be a good friend. So I'm going to share some of that with you. Alright? So the first friend, she said being a good listener and loyalty, which those are really good and really important, especially being a good listener. Like, I heard, it was on a podcast one time, and it said something like, make sure you're listening, like to listen, not listening to respond. That's really important. Just because I know, especially for me, I like to talk a lot, but like being a good listener is just so important. It's just, and loyalty obviously is really, really important. You want friends that you can rely on, and you can trust, and you know will like be there for you, and when you tell them something, you know you can trust them. Okay, the next one, this is from Abby. She said being open-minded, supporting your friends, and loving them no matter their beliefs / religion, which is super important. I think, you know, there's so many different beliefs and religions or like political views and all that. And I think you can definitely still be friends, even if you have like the complete opposite views, like the most opposite views ever. I think that's like so important, and just accepting them, and not even like when you talk about it, you know, like you get like a little like, there's a little bit of tension. Like, I think you should fully be able to talk about your religion and stuff, and it just be like completely open, and be like so supportive of the person. Even if they're not doing maybe what you would choose to do, you can still love the person. So I think that is really, really good. The next friend, this is kind of a longer answer, but they said, well, this is just kind of like a paraphrase, but they were saying, you know, genuinely loving and caring for your friends, not just being a fake friend, not just faking being their friend, and not just, you know, pretending to be like super enthusiastic around them, or like pretending to be excited to see them, but like genuinely like loving them so you would be excited to see them, and things like that. And you and your friend can disagree, but you have to love them as a person and friend first and foremost, and then out of love you may need to correct them, which I think that is super important. And like whenever my friends have corrected me, it doesn't feel like oh my gosh, I feel so bad that I did all this, and you know, you are like mad at them. It makes me feel better because I know they're just trying to help me be a better person. So I think that's really important. He was also talking about, you know, their intention behind being your friend. Are they just being courteous, or do they really want to hang out with you? But just kind of what I was saying earlier about, you know, are they just faking being enthusiastic, or do they actually want to hang out with you? And it's so important to just like have joy about your friendships. And once you like have such a good friendship, and you know it's a friendship like from God, you can't like help but be joyful and always just be excited to be around them, because you know what a gift they are. Okay, and the last one, this friend said being a good friend is like, you think of things periodically that you can do to like bless your friend, just like little things, like whether, you know, you send a really nice encouraging text, or something as big as like throwing them like a surprise party or something like that. I think that's so important, and it literally like makes people's day, you know, even if it's as small as like an encouraging text or something. I think those things are like so cool. And basically it's just saying like a good friend is someone who seeks to bring happiness to their friends, and I just think that's so cool. And whenever people do stuff like that for me, it's just like I am a different person. I'm like, oh my gosh, you are literally a saint. You know, like just little things. It's like, why are you so nice? It's so fulfilling to just like give to people, even if it's just a really small thing. Those are all the little things that I have I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I just love friendship so much. I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!